Thank you, Ruthie. I'm going to take my mask off. I'm very sorry, folks. Again, my name is Rene Moya, and I'm the campaign director for the Rental Affordability Act. I want to start off actually by acknowledging the folks who are protesting outside in support of Black Lives Matter, because we have to recognize the fact that housing justice issues in particular are also issues of racial justice. In fact, this is one of the reasons why we're here today. So why exactly are we here? At past midnight this morning, we got a report from the LA Homeless Services Authority saying that homelessness in LA County had increased by 14%. By 14%. In the city of Los Angeles, homelessness increased by almost 13%. That's a shocking, shocking statistic, and it demonstrates that we have to do so much more to be able to do something about housing and the housing crisis in this city and in this county. Frankly, for far too long, we have had a moment, we have had a crisis in acknowledging the fact that housing is in crisis in the state.
Give me a second.
Sure.
Black Lives Matter. We hear you. We stand with you. And this is an issue that affects you too. Black Californians, Black Angelenos make up 40% of the homeless population, but you're only 13% of the general population here. So why this disconnect, this disproportion? Renee is going to talk to you about this. This is about you too.
Well, folks, first off, we're not media. So I know that folks are saying about the media, we're not the media. I'm not the media. We're here to talk about, again, housing justice issues in LA. We're here to talk about the fact that we don't have tenant protections in Los Angeles. And so, again, I want to be able to say that LA obviously is in crisis, that over 27% of the homeless population of Los Angeles is currently homeless right now in California. 27% of the homeless population of the United States is in this state. And we're not doing anywhere near enough to be able to keep them in their homes. One thing I do want to say very quickly. Homelessness for senior citizens increased by 20% this past year. 20%. Homeless families increased by nearly 50%. By nearly 50%. And we know that youths in the city of LA also saw a disproportionate increase in the number of homeless. This is a scandal, and we need to do more. One of the things that we want to say as part of the Rental Affordability Act is something very clear, very simple. The fact is that if we don't actually keep people in their homes, and if we're not doing enough to fight gentrification in the city of LA, we're going to continue to see an increase in the homeless in the city of LA. A number of our neighborhoods, for example, the neighborhood that I grew up in Northeast LA, what was a traditionally working class neighborhood of color, we've seen homelessness increase as well, and so this is the reason why we are here. All right. I think we're going to have to continue with our run of show here. Sorry about that, folks. Again, I want to acknowledge the fact that we're in the situation that we are in this state precisely because we treat these issues as though they're separate from each other when they're not. And frankly, the housing crisis that we're suffering right now in this city, the crisis of gentrification, is something that we're going to have to address if we want to actually talk about social justice. And in fact, right now, the Apartment Association of Greater LA, the landlords, are spending money suing the city of Los Angeles to be able to stop the city of LA from evicting tens of thousands of people onto the streets. How is it that we're suffering a coronavirus pandemic with soaring income inequality, and the Apartment Association thinks that the best thing to do is to throw people onto the streets and to evict them? That is a crisis, that is a problem.
Hi everyone, my name is Susie Shannon, and I am formerly homeless, and I am the Executive Director of Poverty Matters. And I would just want to say that I am deeply disappointed in our government and their inability to address homelessness, that we now have 66,433 people on our streets in LA County that are homeless is an embarrassment for both our city and our county, where homelessness has now gone up. We are asking for the city and county, for the officials, to immediately come up with programs to address this issue once and for all. There are lots and lots of solutions that have been proposed, and we keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. There's lots of money that has been put into homelessness, to homeless programs, into housing, and a lot of it has been squandered away. We have spent $500,000 to $700,000 per unit in creating permanent supportive housing, when we could have used adaptive reuse, prefab modular housing, or any number of more economical alternatives. We cannot continue on this way. We are losing voters because they see that money is squandered away. We have more and more people who are homeless, which is also a cost to taxpayers. It costs $35,000 to $45,000 per year per person who is chronically homeless on the street. That is the cost to our taxpayers. We need to move people into housing. We need to provide permanent solutions, and we need to do it now. The solutions are out there. The new models are out there. There are other cities that have done this. There are states who have moved in their homeless population and saved money. The state of Utah, which I would point out is a red state, reached a functional zero in terms of chronic homelessness. So it is doable. We know that this is doable. We need to call on our state officials as well to end Costa-Hawkins once and for all. Costa-Hawkins is a law that is preventing our cities and counties from enacting or expanding rent control. And when rents go up, tents go up. And when rents go up, gentrification is what happens in our communities. And people are disproportionately impacted. People of color are disproportionately impacted. Our Black communities are disproportionately impacted. Our Latino communities are disproportionately impacted. And it is time for everyone in this city and county to take a stand and to either force our elected officials to come up with solutions or to find new elected officials. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Next up, I'd like to introduce Trinidad Ruiz. Trinidad is a member of the Los Angeles Tenants Union who have recently endorsed our initiative. Trinidad?
My name is Trinidad Ruiz, and I'm a volunteer organizer with the LA Tenants Union Vibe Local, one of nearly 10,000 members and 13 locals across this city. Sadly, the 14% increase in the unhoused is no surprise to us. I'd like to think of our unhoused neighbors as tenants as well. Whether we're housed or unhoused, we're all tenants in this city. Before COVID-19, tenants in working class communities across this city were victims of gentrification and mass displacement by developer and corporate landlords preying on us to turn a profit. Tenants live in a system built against them. We face eviction judges who are landlords. Our elected leaders, over half of them are landlords. Or they're bought and sold, like Councilmember Mitchell Farrell, who receives developer money that's subsidized by the high rents that we are paying. Now that we're in this pandemic, we are fighting illegal lockouts every day. In South Central, there were 8. Corporation developers and greedy landlords are simply bypassing a system already set in their favor by simply throwing people out, locking the doors, and kicking them out to the streets. What have our elected leaders done? Well, they've provided solutions that we needed 10 years ago. Eviction pause until July 28th. We need an eviction ban. Rent freeze on rent increases for the next year. We need rent cancellation, period. Suspension of the Ellis Act. We need that law revoked completely. Until then, there will continue to be double-digit increases in the unhoused in this city. And until then, LA Tenants Union will fight every single eviction, whether legal or illegal, and will throw our bodies between the sheriff or the police, the landlords, and the tenants. Thank you.
Ahora para nuestros medios en español quiero presentarles a Abel González. Abel González es un miembro del grupo comunitario ACE y nos va a hablar un poco sobre su experiencia organizando y trabajando en este tema. Gracias, Abel.
Buenas tardes a todos ustedes, gracias por estar aquí, ¿verdad? También gracias a todas las personas que nos acompañan, ¿verdad? Pues hola, mi nombre es Abel González, yo soy el presidente del capítulo de inquilinos de la organización comunitaria ACE, ¿verdad? Con el reporte de incremento de personas sin hogar en estos momentos, nos encontramos en un nivel muy alto, ¿verdad? En la ciudad de Los Ángeles y el condado, los pronósticos para los inquilinos no son muy favorables, ¿verdad? En experiencia, en lo que hemos trabajado con la comunidad y en particular en vivienda, ¿verdad? Nos damos cuenta que lo que viene es un tsunami de personas que van a ser desalojadas, ¿verdad? Creemos y estimamos que un promedio de 600,000 familias van a ser desalojadas después de 91 días de que se levante la orden de emergencia, ¿verdad? Esto es debido a la pandemia de COVID-19, ¿verdad? Muchos de los inquilinos perdieron sus trabajos y no han podido pagar sus rentas, ¿verdad? Y muchas familias van a estar expuestas a este tsunami que viene de desalojos, ¿verdad? Esto podría, como les dije, comenzar 91 días después de que se levante la orden de emergencia, ¿verdad? Estamos aquí para exigir, ¿verdad?, a las personas que nos representan que hagan algo y no esperen a que llegue ese momento para actuar, ¿verdad? Tenemos tiempo todavía y creemos que podemos lograr algo, pero necesitamos que tomen conciencia y se pongan a trabajar, ¿verdad? Somos muchas familias las que vamos a ser afectadas y queremos que todos nosotros tengamos la protección, ¿verdad? Que pongan el dinero donde realmente se necesita, donde la comunidad lo requiere, ¿verdad? Ya es tiempo de que se pongan a trabajar. ¿Qué queremos? ¿Cuándo? Ahora. Gracias.
All right. I want to just close by saying a couple of things. Number one, I want to reiterate something that Abel just said for the English press in particular. On the 91st day after tenant protections are lifted at the statewide level, we're going to see a tsunami of evictions. We're going to see tens of thousands of people in this city and across the state going homeless. Right now, what just happened today at this press conference is an example of the anger, the righteous and real anger that the city and the state face right now. Amen. We're in a moment of crisis, unprecedented crisis. For the first time in a century, we haven't been in the place that we're at right now, with growing unemployment, growing evictions very soon, and then we're going to see a huge increase in the homelessness. And so I want to invite everyone who's watching today to understand that the crisis is real. It is getting worse. The homeless numbers that were dropped today, they are only the tip of the iceberg. Those numbers were for January. Where are we going to be in 6 months when these protections are lifted? And so I want to be able to acknowledge that. We're in a dangerous moment in California right now. And the anger that we're seeing on our streets is the result of everything that we have so far done wrong on a number of fronts, including, and I would say especially, in the housing front. We need to do better. Thank you very much, folks.